Good morning. Today's talk is entitled Aligning with Our Potential. And it's kind of stems from the Science of Mind magazine theme for the month of February 2026 on embracing life's possibilities. So the process is really, as Michael Gott sang in his first song, releasing and letting go, right? I release, I let go, I let spirit run my life. Wow. Simple, not always easy process, but we're the ones that make it complicated, right? Abraham Hicks says, we live in an attraction-based universe. There is no assertion. There's nothing outside of us imposing anything on us. It's all our own point of attraction that brings to us everything that we get in life. Abraham Hicks also says that life is meant to be fun, right? If you've ever been to an Abraham Hicks talk, the seminars always begin with a song that says, joy is the key, right? Joy is the key. But joy is about a high vibration, right? Worry, stress, victim, depression, low vibration. Joy, high vibration. The higher our vibration, the more we're aligned with God in our lives, the more we're aligned with Source, with Spirit in our lives. My only work is to find ways to make life fun. Not easy, but fun, exciting, and adventurous, which does require that I'm willing to take risks. I'm willing to do things that I might not otherwise do, right? Letting go of resistance, floating downstream. Letting go of resistance, what does that mean? That means all my to-do lists, right? All the things that I have to get done, all the things that I feel like I've got to complete in order to succeed in achieving what I really want. When in reality, the more I can let things go, the more I can absolutely surrender my life and every circumstance in it to the universe, right? To Source, to God, to my higher power, the more easily things naturally come to me. And we'll get a lot of examples of that today. The example Abraham Hicks gives is floating downstream. I have this process where I wake up in the morning and I often sit in my bed for quite some time and I begin to imagine grabbing every to-do list, everything that I have to get done, pulling it out the top of my head and putting it in these amazing big hands right in front of me. The universe. I know that the universe can handle everything, every detail of my life, far greater than I ever could. It has created and sustains this planet and all the life on it. Not just our planet, our solar system, the galaxies, and the universe. It can definitely deal with every detail of my life when I get myself out of the way and allow it to do that, right? Ralph Waldo Emerson says, we need to get our bloated nothingness out of the way, right? So in the What We Believe statements that Ernest Holmes has, that he's pinned off on a napkin, somewhere close to probably 1926 when the Science of Mind was just in its infant stages, he wrote one of those statements are, we believe that heaven is within us and that we experience it to the degree we become conscious of it, right? Heaven is within us and that we experience it to the degree we become conscious of it, right? So how do I become conscious of the heaven that exists at the center of my own being? Well, first, I have to be okay with everything as it is, right? In Shambhala, Buddhist tradition, which is a Tibetan tradition, they have a foundational belief in what they call basic goodness. And it's an understanding. It's a foundational belief that all sentient beings, all life on this planet is imbued with an essence of basic goodness. And it's not a goodness versus a badness. It's an innate wholeness. It means that we all have within us everything that we need to thrive in this lifetime right where we are right now. There's nothing to be fixed, nothing broken that needs fixed, rotten that needs cut out, nothing missing that we need to find. We have it all. It's all in part of the essence of who we are. It's a wholeness that knows itself as being complete. And through our meditation practice, we learn to work with the mind in such a way that we let go of all of those thoughts and all those habitual patterns of thinking that cause us to believe that something is wrong, that something is not the way it's supposed to be. That as we begin to just gently let that go and firmly move our attention towards the wholeness of life through just simply following our own breath, we begin to get a glimpse of this innate wholeness that is spoken of in Shambhala. Ernest says, we are surrounded by an infinite possibility. It is goodness, life, law, and reason. In expressing itself through us, it becomes more conscious. In expressing itself through us, it becomes more fully conscious of its own being. We are it. It is us. I individualize the universal I am. The I am that I am is an individualized expression of the great I am. We are limitless beings. Ernest Holmes says, change your thinking, change your life. Right? He says, no, nothing can hinder you but yourself. If you believe you can, you can. Henry Ford says, if you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. So in the Buddhist tradition, it also talks of with freedom. And when we think of limitless being, infinite, when we think of joy and happiness, we think of experiencing a sense of freedom, right? Financial freedom, freedom from suffering, freedom from pain, freedom from misery, right? That requires responsibility. I have to begin to take responsibility for myself in order to experience the potential of my own being. But it's also going to say, with discipline comes joy, right? I've got to be able to stick to what I'm saying. I've got to be able to do what I say I'm going to do. I've got to be able to follow through with taking action steps. So change your thinking, change your life. I can't think myself into right action. I've got to act myself into right thinking, right? And how do I do that? How do I act myself into right thinking? Well, I've got to take conscious steps to do things different today. In recovery, we call it contrary action. If procrastination is a problem, I've got to have the discipline to do something different, to create a calendar, to create a schedule, to set alarms, to do whatever I have to do to get myself to be able to move forward in the direction that I desire to move. Laziness, self-critical thinking, right? Self-critical. When I consider myself lazy, or when I say I'm a procrastinator, I'm labeling myself something that I do not choose to be. So any time that I spend talking about or lining up with anything that I don't want more of, I'm only lining up with that which I don't want, which is hindering my ability to line up with what I do want, right? Here's another example of something similar to this, and it's my highest good. And this is Reverend Nancy Hobby-Lau used to always say this. My highest good is filtered through my lowest opinion. I believe that either comes from Ernest Holmes or from Carlton Whitehead. But my highest good is filtered through my lowest opinion. What does that mean? So when I think less than the absolute best about anyone in my world, I'm actually, that same energy is coming back to me multiplied, right? I put it out towards somebody else, it comes back to me multiplied. 3 times with the number of fingers on my hand, right? So it behooves me to pay attention to how I speak of others. Attachment. Attachment is the root of suffering, according to the Buddha, right? His first 4 Noble Truths were all about suffering, that it's real. And really it comes from clinging, from attachment, from wanting things to be a certain way and not being happy unless they are. So that attachment, that sense of attachment. So in Buddhism, we tend to look at life like this. We let things come into our hands and then go out of our hands, right? There's no grasping, there's no pushing. There's just allowing it to be, right? And when it is, we just simply appreciate the moment, appreciate what is. And because it's going to go. The more I cling to it, the more I attach to it, the more it stays and doesn't change, right? When we have a condition that we want to get rid of, the more we talk about it, the more that we, commiserate our experience with other people that have the same experience, the more we are lining up with having that experience. In some way, we need to be able to move beyond. We need to be able to see what life would be without this condition, right? That's where spiritual mind treatment comes in. That's where learning how to pray and meditate becomes the most powerful tool that we can use in this process of transformation, in achieving life's highest potential, right? So all things that block us from being able to say yes. When I speak in a less kindly way, or I see in others, what I see in others is only a reflection of what exists within my own consciousness and is actually still active in my consciousness. What I'm looking at, I'm looking with. And we're in a society right now that is so steeped in looking at others and comparing and judging and blaming, right? And that only holds us back. It only makes it more difficult for us to truly achieve our potential. So how do I do this? The big thing is it's all an inner journey, right? It's all inner work. The more that I work to be at peace with myself, with my humanness, with those parts of myself that are good, that I love, and those parts of myself that challenge me the most. And when I speak poorly of others, I am only limiting my own ability to see my own personal challenges, my own weaknesses, my own ways that I self-sabotage myself, and which only prolongs my agony, prolongs my suffering. I love this. Hurry kills presence. Worry kills peace. Doubt kills faith. Ego kills love. Right? Now we can flip that around. Peace, or presence, kills hurry. Peace kills worry. Faith kills doubt. Love kills ego. There you go. Presence. To be fully present. To be mindful. To be centered in peace. An inner peace that goes with, that transcends all understanding, that goes with us wherever we are. Faith. Our ability to believe in good. Fear. We're putting our ability to believe that something bad is going to happen. Faith. We're putting our ability to believe in something good is going to happen. The choice is ours. It's a deliberate and conscious choice. Often, our patterns of thinking are habitual, meaning we think them over and over again even when we really don't want to. So our work is always subtractive. Nothing to get, only focus on letting go of all we believe to be true. Beginner's mind. See everything as if for the first time. Developing a relationship with our higher power. Oh my gosh, such an important part of this teaching, such an important part of this journey of life, is learning how to connect through prayer and meditation to an intelligence that's in the smallest atom, in the largest galaxy, and everything in between. It's my mind, it's my heart, it's my body, it's my world and affairs. And when I get myself out of the way, I allow it to do amazing things in my life. Simple solution, not always easy. Getting myself out of the way. Practice, practice, practice. Faith of a mustard seed, right? Little tiny mustard seed has all the intelligence within it to create a mustard plant. And it doesn't doubt itself. Put it in soil and it will create a mustard seed, right? It's the same with our thinking. When I focus on the problems I have, I only get more of what I already have. When I can move beyond that, when I can believe that other people have been right where I am and they've gotten through it and they are living wonderful lives now, I'm beginning to open the door for me to believe the same is possible for me. I'm going to share a little bit about a blizzard event. So I was trying to get home a couple weekends ago, and the blizzard was hitting. It was hitting Texas. It was hitting all across the country, right? So I was trying to get home to Dallas Saturday and Sunday so I could spend a little bit of time with my partner before flying to South Carolina to spend some time with a friend riding some horses for little while, which is very therapeutic for me and absolutely a passion of mine. Well, Dallas got closed. All the flights to Dallas got canceled. Charlotte got closed. All the flights to Charlotte got canceled. Well, earlier in January, my nephew, my 23-year-old nephew, had sent me pictures of some ski gear that he had bought himself for Christmas this year with a little tagline, Uncle Will, come take me go skiing. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll work it in. If I can't get it in, January's pretty booked, but maybe in February. Well, as soon as this blizzard started coming up, well, I did also say there's a possibility, there's a slim possibility I might be able to take it the end of January. I didn't count anything out, and here's the thing. Marry the process, not the outcome. Marry the process. So what is my process? Getting myself out of the way, getting in the river, relaxing, allowing spirit, allowing the universe to work through me in ways beyond my comprehension, right? So the seeds were planted that I was going to have a wonderful couple days, whether it was riding horses or skiing with my nephew. So the flights were canceled to Dallas and Charlotte. They were not canceled to Pittsburgh. I did make it to Pittsburgh, and I went and I took my nephew for skiing for 3 days, last Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So it was a week ago, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So it was right after the big storm hit, and it was absolutely wonderful. You know, my mom couldn't get her car out. She usually picks me up at the airport. I rented a Jeep Renegade. That vehicle got me through snowbanks like I could never imagine. It was so perfect. I got us a hotel right there in the lodge, a hotel room for 2 nights, and just, you know, they had a sale going on through the end of January, 20% off all hotel bookings with ski rentals, or with booking ski tickets. So I got my nephew and I both 3 days of skiing and 2 nights in the hotel, and Mom came along and absolutely enjoyed the entire winter wonderland that we had at Seven Springs last week. And everything about the whole process was me not saying what it needed to look like, what fun needed to look like, what was going to be the best thing, the best way for me to spend my time that helps me do things that I love and connect with the people that I love. You know, the universe knew how to work that out and make it happen. Happens quite often with my schedule, right? This last week, I forgot to schedule to try and bid for trips. And as a result, the company assigns me trips. Well, what I got was better than I could have ever imagined. I got home early this week, which absolutely made my life so much better. So every new moment holds possibilities beyond what the past has shown. Within the one supreme mind exists the possibility of projecting limitless expressions of itself. Thus, the infinite is not limited, but multiplied. So that larger I am that expresses as the individual I am is capable of doing things beyond my comprehension, right? It's limitless in its ability to express itself through me when I let it, right? Which means I got to realize I don't know what's best, but there's something inside of me that does, and I think I'm going to let it, right? You know, that's my practice. That's meditation. That's prayer, right? Ernest also says, we must consciously know that we can use the creative power of the universe for good and then proceed to do so. So I'm going to end with this, and it's the Chinese New Year is February 17th, 2026, and this is the year of the fire horse. There's a reason 2025, the year of the snake, felt so heavy. It was a year of shedding, letting go of friendships that no longer aligned, relationships that failed us, and attachments we held onto far too long. Truths were exposed, masks fell, cycles ended so growth could begin. 2026 is the year of the horse, a year of strength, momentum, opportunity, and alignment. Forward movement with purpose. So be mindful how you close out these next few days, because you are not bringing old energy into what's meant to run free. I love you all. I bless you all. And so it is.